The purpose of this video is to prepare you to submit your personal poetry anthology final draft by Saturday night. See the deadline right there. We're going to quickly go over the requirements, and then I'm going to show you an example of all the different possibilities that exist within the final draft. So first requirement, you must have at least 9 poems as part of your final draft. You should have way more than 9 at this point. It's just a matter of choosing which ones are the best. One of the more important focus points of this video is this point right here. We'll be printing this final draft off, so whatever you submit on Saturday night, that's the way that it will be printed. Once your final draft is printed, we'll spend some time in class decorating it, putting a cover on it, and preparing just for the final deal. So you want to make sure that you format this final draft the way you would like to see it printed. And you should insert any computerized images you'd like to include at this point in the process. You'll be able to draw on the printed copy, but if there are computerized images that you want to include in your poetry anthology, now is the time to do that. Here is the list of requirements. You have this on your green assignment sheet. Important point down here, similar to the rough draft, if you want to receive credit for your final draft, you must complete the poet's reflection. That'll be at the end of the page, end of the assignment. And you see here the title page. This is what I mean when I'm saying you want to make sure that the formatting is exactly the way that you want to see it printed. This will be the front cover of your anthology. You can feel free to computerize it, or you can feel free to draw and write in the style that you want. So I'm going to give you an example. This is a title page that I've made. So I deleted this heading, and I made my own cover page. That's my title. That's my image that I've decided to represent my whole personal poetry anthology. You can tell what kind of mood I'm in right now. And I've written here at the bottom of the page a collection of poems by, and then my name here. So there are 2 requirements for the title page. That's your name and the title. You can insert a computerized image if you wish, but you can also feel free to draw your own. So here's my first poem. Note that this is at the top of the page right here. And I need to demonstrate my imagery of nature, and it needs to be underlined. So if you see here, I've got all 3 lines underlined because they all demonstrate imagery. I've also changed the font and the font size because that's what I wanted to do. That's how I wanted to present the poem. And I've got a title up here in quotes. Keep in mind that if you play around with color, this will be printed in black and white, so this will come out black. If you make your fonts kind of a lighter color, it won't be very clear once it's printed. So if you're using color, just know that it won't be printed out as color. And I've also included a little image here. That's one of the images I need to have. Remember that you need to have at least 3 images, either drawn by hand or computerized within your personal poetry anthology. Second haiku, I've chosen a different font. Underline my imagery. It's not in the last line, so I did not underline that. And I don't have an image there. Blackout poem. You will receive this at the beginning of next week, and it will go into the hard copy, the printed copy of your final draft. Don't worry about that for now. Identity poem. So here we go. You can format it however you'd like. And I've got poem number 5, my identity poem here. And I've decided to make this poem look a little bit different. So I've got the font that's changed, and I've also chosen this option, right align, to make sure that the font is coming off of the right side. You can also choose center or left. Feel free to play around with that. I've got poem number 6 here, and I want to underline the imagery. So that should not, that is imagery actually, so I'm going to leave that there. No imagery here in these lines. I've underlined these lines. And this poem actually is 2 pages. I've spaced it out that way, so I wanted to make sure that I end at this page so that I can start my 7th poem on a fresh new page. Make sure you look at the formatting carefully because the way that it's arranged on the page here is the way it will be printed. So you'll finish that up, add your poems. In your poetic analysis, you'll put your poem title here. You'll take your outline that we worked on in class and start putting your poetic analysis in. So it should be about a paragraph, going from about 6 to 10 sentences. Second to last part, the About the Poet section. We worked on that in class. You should have that in your notebook. Remember that we're in 3rd person point of view. Last but not least, the poet's reflection. Slightly different questions from the rough draft. You need at least 3 sentences in each response. This is the last part of the personal poetry anthology, and it will be included in your printed copy. So make sure that it's ready to go. Last part, get out your notebook. We're going to take some quick notes. I've given you a ton of information. So just to make sure that you've got a final checklist and you can make sure that your final draft is ready to go, take down this checklist of all the details that you need to take care of before you submit your final draft. You need 9 poems in total. You need your underlined literary elements. You need to finish your poet's reflection section. Include any electronic images you want at this point. It should be formatted and ready to print. So whatever fonts you want, each poem should have a title, a page heading, meaning your page number right up here, and a new poem beginning at the top of a page. So you should have a poem or a section beginning at the top of the page, even if your poem goes on for 2 pages. Take the time to take down that checklist right now. You should check all 5 boxes before you press submit this Saturday night. Good luck.